Today, we are entering the temple of rear engine madness, the Porsche Museum. But hey, before the turbo kicks in, let's warm up vlog style.
So it's clear we got ourselves into an industrial town. Deutsche Bahn branded Volkswagens, and we are trying to figure out a way to the Porsche Museum. This place is so quiet, so unoccupied, there's barely anyone around. And I guess we have to take these stairs to get somewhere. Let's see.
We are staying at the McDreams Hotel, highly recommended by the way. And to get to Porsche Museum, we need to get to the S-Bahn station Nordbahnhof and take either the S6 or the S60 to reach PorschePlatz.
This time I've switched on the camera.
And we are there at PorschePlatz. Can't wait to see the 911 930, the 911 2.7 RS. Both of them are my favorite cars. And the Tagras, of course. All of them in Tagra. That's, I don't know.
He's just too excited.
Let's show you around the place.
Entry ticket is around 12 euros a person, and there are options for group tickets for family and tour groups. These tickets can either be purchased online as an e-ticket or you can get it from the counters at the Porsche Museum. When you enter the Porsche Museum's main arena, the one that greets you is this chariot. This is an electric chariot that was built with contributions from Ferdinand Porsche, called Edgar Lochner C2 Phaeton in the year 1898. But that 356 grabs away all your attention because that's the 356 prototype 1 that was built by Ferry Porsche, the son of Ferdinand Porsche, when Ferdinand Porsche was in prison to be tried for war crimes. This car's an all aluminium body powered by a flat 1.1 liter engine that created 40 horsepower. And this engine was a rear mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, and most of the components came from the Beetle itself, be it the engine case, the transmission, the suspension. This is a two-seater roadster, open top, and this was built in Gmünd, Austria, and registered in Austria as well. And so you see the A at the back, basically denoting that this was an Austrian vehicle. From the 356 prototype 1, we then move into the 356-2 coupe. Still an aluminium body, but the engine has now moved to the rear, making way for another row of seats at the back. The car was built in Gmünd, Austria, and so this car is called the Gmünd Porsche. And this was the first series production Porsche to ever come out.
And here we have the Porsche 356 Carrera Speedster. This was built in the 1950s to the expectation of a US importer who saw a market for a cheap sports car. This had a 1.5 liter petrol engine that produced 55 horsepower, 4-cylinder boxer as always.
There are a couple of other 356s scattered all across the museum, like this one here, the 356 that was made out of sheet steel in Stuttgart and was presented to Ferdinand Porsche on his 75th birthday. You have then the Speedster prototype, the 1600 Super, and a 356C cop car. A Porsche Diesel 218 tractor sends us out from the 1950s to the 1960s. Welcome to the golden age of cool, the 1960s, but Porsche, oh, they were busy cooking up icons. First up, the Type 754 T7. A prototype, it's like the 911's awkward teenage phase. Longer body, 4 seats, and still figuring itself out. But the DNA, you can already feel the legend forming. Then in 1963, boom, Porsche unveiled the 901. But there was just one problem. Porsche had dips on any 3-digit car names with a 0 in the middle. So Porsche said, fine, we'll call it the 911. And accidentally name of one of the most iconic sports car in history was born. Powered by a 2-liter flat 6 pushing around 130 horsepower, the original 911 wasn't about brute force. It was about balance, precision, and that unmistakable air-cooled soundtrack. By 1973, Porsche said, let's get serious. Enter the Carrera RS 2.7. 2.7-liter flat 6, 210 horsepower, and a new aerodynamic weapon, the ducktail. This wasn't just flair, it reduced the rear end lift by 75%. This thing was made to tear up racetracks and twisty mountain roads. Another noticeable feature are the wide fenders, to house fat tires for that extra grip. And if the ducktail was wild, the next one was downright unhinged, the 930 Turbo, aka the Widowmaker. 3-liter turbocharged flat 6 with 260 horsepower, that massive T-tray spoiler, functional and slightly terrifying. The museum houses some excellent pieces of the 911 2.7 RS and the 911 930 Turbo, the number 1. Another 911 930 Turbo, and Porsche 911 RSR 3.0. There's also the Porsche 914, the controversial Porsche from the 1969s. The one at the museum is the Porsche 914/6, which is the flat 6-cylinder version of the car. After the 930 Turbo scared an entire generation into respecting throttle control, Porsche didn't slow down. They got smarter, sleeker, and a whole lot faster. Enter the 911 964, the first Porsche with a Tiptronic transmission and an all-wheel drive. And what we have in the museum is the 911 964 Turbo S 3.3 in the speed yellow of Porsche. This beauty has a power of 381 horses, weighs 180 grams less than its non-S sibling. And then we hit the modern era with the Porsche 993. Ask any Porsche nerd and they'll tell you this is the holy grail, the last of the air-cooled 911s and arguably the best. It was smoother, faster and just right. The turbo version, 408 horsepower twin turbocharged madness. It was Porsche flexing without saying a word. At the museum we have a 911 993 cop car and a 911 993 Carrera RS. And while we follow the 911s, the one we missed, the 924, the successor to the controversial 914, a Porsche water-cooled with parts from Audi and Volkswagen. One we have in the museum, the 924 Turbo, distinguished by the Narca duct in its hood. And this real beast we missed, the Porsche 959, the car that made 80s look like the future. Twin turbo, flat 6, 450 horsepower, all-wheel drive and a top speed of 317 km per hour. Active suspension, tire pressure monitor and tech so advanced back in the day it made other supercars look like dinosaurs. And then the Porsche 928 GTS. In 1995, this almost replaced the 911. 5.4-liter V8 front-engine rear-wheel drive, churning out 345 horses. This was full luxury on muscle. Wait a minute, why is this boxy W124 hiding behind a curvy Porsche Boxer, that too in the Porsche Museum? Well, that's the W124 500e that Porsche helped develop in 1988. A 5-liter V8 322 horsepower with a 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds. Cars from the recent past somehow didn't align me with seeing them in a museum. But then there's Porsche Carrera GT, one that was made between 2003 and 2006. It was powered by a mid-engine 5.7-liter V10 that produced around 603 horses. Without features such as stability control and adaptive suspension, and with a 6-speed manual transmission, it was known for its analog driving experience. Around 1,270 cars were ever built, making it highly exclusive. Before we wrap up, here's a glimpse to some other Porsches at the museum. So that's a wrap for today, folks. If you like our content and want to join us in our journey, check out our channel and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.